Yeah, okay. Miss Climby really wants to hang out with me. She's been so needy lately. Oh, I was talking about pharmaceutical companies. Well, everybody knows this, unless I guess you really don't know much about America and you don't live here. Yeah. No, they had a guy a few years back, like 2015, maybe late, a little later, just a head of a pharmaceutical company who raised the rates, raised the cost of almost all his medicines that he was in charge of, just because he could. Like, he went to trial for it and everything. He was like, this is perfectly legal. I can do this. Like, this is a private product. I can sell it for however much I want. People need it, they'll pay. It was like insulin and stuff. And the guy's like an actual real-life supervillain. So, what he did, he just kept flaunting his money. And he would buy, like, unheard media, like the Lost Wu-Tang Clan album. And he would just show people snippets on live streams, and then he would just destroy tapes. He did it with Nirvana tapes that he called unreleased, but they weren't actually unreleased. He just had one of their original demos, and then he just ripped it up in front of like the audience, destroying the tape just because he's a dick. Like, this guy's an actual supervillain. I wish I could remember his name, but eventually the courts got him to lower the prices, I think. But man. Like, that should be a wake-up call, but it's not, because, you know, Congress people don't change the laws because they're getting paid off by pharmaceutical companies and healthcare companies. Healthcare should not be privatized. That's ridiculous. That is a stupid idea. Maybe it was okay back in the day, in the 1700s, but, I mean, a lot of our laws are just antiquated. And, you know, back when they came out with gun rights, like, the reason was to protect yourself, which, you know, is fine. People deserve to protect themselves, but, like, also, the Founding Fathers did not predict, automatic weapons. They had muskets. Huge difference. People die all the time. I mean, I'm fine. They can't take away guns from everybody. That's unrealistic. That's not going to work. It's not going to happen. But they could do way better background checks. Like, make it really hard to get a gun that's fair. I mean, if you really want one that badly and you actually just want it to protect yourself, then you'll pass the test. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I'm going to inherit a bunch of guns when my dad dies. He tells me this every time I see him. He always tells me what I'm going to get when he dies. He texted me the other day just to talk about how I'm going to get his fancy Tag Heuer, is that how you pronounce it? Watch. I wish he had the Mario watch. He sent it to me and told me, oh, this would be a good investment for you. And I said, I don't have $1,500 or whatever it was to just, you know, spend on a watch, Dad. Never gonna wear it. He thinks all men should carry watches. He's also the type of man who will not go to a baby shower no matter what. My friend Nathan, not the one who was supposed to come over today, my friend Nathan Quas, my handyman, I brought him up in Wrecking Crew too. You know, he's inviting people to his baby shower, and he was like, I mean, I know guys don't really like to go, but I'm trying to get the men to go. And I was like, Nathan, I'm all for a baby shower. I think it's stupid that men hate baby showers so much. Because, I mean, don't you want to be there for the people you care about? Like, my dad even wouldn't let me go to my niece's baby shower, my sister's baby shower when my first niece was born. He was like, no, that's gay, and we're gonna go to the theater. And we watched Spider-Man 2, but really all I wanted to do was participate in the baby shower and go home and play Lego Star Wars. You enjoying the eerie silence? I mean, Spider-Man 3 was fine. It was fine hanging out with my dad. We went out to eat Italian, I'm sure. Because, man, I love some Italian food. My wife doesn't. So, you know, she just has a bad experience in Italian restaurants. And they don't have a lot of stuff she likes because they don't have fake meat or anything. I just get mushrooms instead. But she doesn't like the mushroom texture, which I understand. I love it. God, I love eating mushrooms. I wish we could have them more, but I don't want my wife to cook stuff with mushrooms very often just for me. You know, I'd love to learn to cook. I plan on learning to do all the parts eventually, but everybody makes fun of the way I cut stuff, so I'm not very good at it. Again, a little bit of a learning disability of some kind. I can't tie shoes, can't swim, can't figure it out. I can't tell you how many hours I've tried. If I'm trying something and I just can't figure it out, people get frustrated with me. I get pissed off because I just can't do it. Like, I had a popcorn kernel making my infection worse. It was stuck in my tooth. So I can't eat popcorn anymore again until the tooth is out. Actually, until the tooth is healed. I eat popcorn, a bag of popcorn every day. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I'm so hungry. Thinking about food's making it so much worse. But I could go to the store, but I'm getting out tomorrow to go to the store. I don't want to do it today. My wife's cooking, though. She is the best, and I love her very much and appreciate her. I'm sorry. I've gotten off on so many tangents. I've had so many things to talk about. Oh, baby showers. But I was like, you know, I was like, Dad, you're really not going to go to your own daughter's baby shower again? There's going to be plenty of men there. He's like, no. You and your brother-in-law can get a punch in your man card. And I said, gladly, you can punch as many holes in my man card as you would like, Father. I don't actually call him Father. I've never said that except as a joke. Well, my dad, you know, when I was a kid, he would be like, you know, back in my day, we would call our fathers Sir out of respect. And I said, I'm not doing that. And if he had pushed it, I'd be like, you know, Dad, the day you wanted to force me to call you by a title just because it makes you feel good is the day I would lose all respect for you. I mean, I don't respect the man very much as it is. We have an okay relationship, but I've talked about this a million times before. He's done some good things in his life. He's done some good things as a dad. He's also done some terrible things. But that's not the point of right now. The point of right now is, well, Kirby Star Stacker, but also, you know, he'll also be like, there is nothing ruder than saying yeah when somebody talks to you. I'm your father. You say yes, sir, or yes, and he listed off all these things, and I said, okay, yes. What do you want? Yes. And that was it. That was all he wanted. He just wanted to just open my door like the cats do and talk to me 500 times a day. Which is fine, but all he wanted to do was be like, oh, you want to come work on a car with me? And I'd be like, no. Be like, why don't you come mow the yard? I'll teach you how to mow the yard. And I'm like, first of all, being around cut grass makes me unable to breathe. And I used to get sick for days. Like, horribly sick. Whenever I would even be around cut grass. If I didn't hold my breath on the way up the street from the bus. It was so bad. I'm glad they have those cloth masks now that I can wear when we go to, like, the pumpkin patch in the fall and stuff. But my dad would make me cut the grass with a push mower. And be like, oh, you'll get over it. And then I'd just be sick for, like, a week afterwards. And it would be insanely frustrating. Which I get it. He wanted me to help around the house and do useful skills. But, like, of all things, why the thing I'm allergic to? It sucked. What else was I talking about? Oh, I'm going to talk about Lego Star Wars. Looking up at my Lego Qui-Gon Jinn figure that I have on my bookshelf. Because I learned all I know from about Star Wars from Lego Star Wars and my friend David. When I first met David, he was talking about Star Wars in the 4th grade and asked me if I'd played it. And I was like, I was really into Lego Star Wars at the time. And I was like, I haven't seen the movies, but I know what happened, sort of, from the... Ooh, that's a good combo. I was like, I know what happened, sort of, from Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars nails the plot. You get most of the plot through just the non-speaking cutscenes there. It's pretty great. I love it. I'm sorry. My tooth is hurting more and more as time goes on. I'm going to have to take some acetaminophen before I know it. It's already 1 o'clock? Jesus. Of course, I record a lot longer than I used to. But, man, he talked about Star Wars for weeks. Like, I mean nothing but Star Wars for weeks. Which was fine. I liked his enthusiasm. David was in Wrecking Crew 98. He's been in plenty of my videos, actually. So, if you want to go check him out. What else? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I have a Lego Qui-Gon Jinn figure because he's the first character, so he's my favorite. He's also a badass. I didn't know who Liam Neeson was or that he was played by Liam Neeson back then, but he's a great character. We just recently watched The Phantom Menace in theaters, again for the re-release. Although the remastering sucked, I was told it was remastered with AI. There were green splotches on everything in that cut of the movie. It did not feel worth it. I don't know if other people complained, but it was really cool to see it in theaters because it came out in '99 when I was 1 year old, or possibly not even a year old yet. I don't know exactly when, but you know, better movie than I remember. I finally did watch the movies eventually without David, but we're watching through the Clone Wars series very slowly but surely together with our friend Grant, David's roommate, and my wife. Because I'm determined to enjoy all the canon Star Wars media one day. I'm just not that into Star Wars. I think it's overrated, and I think A New Hope is one of the worst movies ever made. I mean that. I think I've gone on that rant before, though. And for those not interested in Star Wars, I guess I won't go too deep into it. But just know, I'm not a big fan. The movie's fine as part of the series, but as a movie, it sucks. But it's all enjoyable enough. Not everything has to be perfect to be enjoyable, so. I like all the deep lore. Although I think Boba Fett sucks. The original trilogy is vastly overrated. People hate the Disney trilogy, the sequels. I think they're great. People used to hate the prequels, and now they hate the sequels and love the prequels. I don't know, the prequels are better than the originals, and the sequels I think are better than the prequels, except for Episode 3. I said I wasn't going to talk about Star Wars much. That I'm not even that into it, but here you see me getting passionate about it. It's because most of my friends, especially, you know, Galen has written a lot of Star Wars fan fiction. I read all of that not knowing half the stuff that he was talking about, and he won't even watch my videos, so thanks, Galen. You know, I have read every piece of fan fiction every one of my friends has ever written. I have watched every video they've ever made. I have read everything they've ever written of any kind. Listen to any songs they've made. And most of my friends don't watch most of my videos. Very few of them watch any. So I would like to thank David and... oh, well, just David, I guess. I can't think of anybody else who ever watches my videos unless they're in the videos. Obviously, I mean my in-person friends, CroissantBeast315, this is a shout out to you. But you're probably not watching this because this has droned on for a long time. And I can't blame you. I can't blame anybody who doesn't want to watch my videos. I mean, my friend Grant has been like, look, I've tried to watch your videos. We're just not interested in the same type of games, so I find it boring. And I was like, I appreciate your honest answer. But, like, I'll upload something that I know my friends are interested in. Like, oh, Galen uploaded a Zelda video, or, you know, just something I know he's interested in. He's like, he doesn't even respond to me. So I get it for Drew, I guess. Gary's watched a few of my videos, so shout out to Gary. I love Gary. But, I mean, I get when people aren't interested in the games I'm doing, but geez. The ones who expect me to enjoy and participate in everything they're doing, but don't do it for me, it's just really frustrating. Of course, I've had a hard time coming to terms with the fact that my friends used to suck. A lot of my friends, if you go back, I did this rant about how I felt like a selfish person, and my friends sat me down and told me I was a selfish person, and I was like, and they're right. And this was an era when they copied keys of my apartment, like, without my consent, and constantly broke in every single day to enforce me to hang out with them, upsetting my wife, who had tremendously crippling social anxiety at the time. They were just terrible, terrible friends. Always dragged me to do whatever they wanted. Berated, well, I'm talking about one friend in particular. I'm acting like it's more than one. I mean, it was Grant that copied my keys. He would never do that now. But, you know, our other friend at the time, who used to be on the channel and shall remain nameless, to prevent accusations of slander, I guess, just went on this tirade about how I'm a bad person because I wear clothes that are, like, comfortable and they're not stylish, and how I need a better vehicle, and the truck I had at the time made me a bad person because I'm not trying my best in life, and how I was selfish. I was not selfish. I was far from selfish. I did everything for everybody else, and my life was miserable back then, and I didn't see that somehow. Man, I don't know. I'm just better off now, but I get paranoid that my friends suck sometimes. You know? And not everybody's perfect. I'm sure not. I was upset with my friend David, and I thought it was really justified. And it was very partially justified. So I did a lot of yelling at him for the first time in our adult lives. And he cried. He was upset. And I felt so badly afterward because I, you know, did the same thing to Grant. And he was like, I don't feel like your accusations are fair because this. I can't get too into it in a video. It's very personal stuff for people that aren't me. But just some stuff that affected me. And I was rather upset about it for a good long time. And, you know. Oh, I just feel a lot better now. Feel secure in my life. Wish friends wanted to do a lot more stuff with us, though. Like, we're having a very small gathering of people over next month. My wife wants to do a fun little 4th of July Flag Day themed sort of thing. And cook food for them and stuff. Which is great. I think that's phenomenal. And normal people would be like, oh yes, I appreciate that. You for hosting me. But they'll sort of appreciate it and just be their rambunctious selves. And that's how it's going to go. But it's hard to make more friends, and I have a lot of friends to keep up with as it is. And I like my friends, don't get me wrong, you know. And people are really nice. It's just hard to get people together as adults. Oh. And it's hard to make friends unless you have coworkers or have children who have classmates or friends they hang out with in the neighborhood. Otherwise, it's like impossible to make friends as an adult. You know, I certainly, the only friend I've made as an adult, I guess there's two. No, there's a few. A good few. But ones that aren't like, because my other friends are like dating or engaged to them, is because Gary. And that was just because Drew introduced me to Gary. And Gary, he met through a coworker. So, that's just how that works. But I haven't kept up with any of my old Pizza Hut friends in a long time. Everybody drifts apart eventually. And I used to be really torn up and sad about it. But now, I'm really okay. I'm very content with myself lately. Like, for a long time I was really depressed and couldn't figure out why. And then I knew why and didn't do anything about it. And just like, I wasn't happy in a lot of aspects of my life. And now, I am. So I really don't need as much therapy as I used to. This year has been the happiest year of my adult life. And of course it's hard to quantify that about childhood because, you know, a lot of happy moments, like just some of the best moments ever, because you're a kid, you have free time, you have no stress. I'd never been stressed out in my life until I got a job and was working 39 hours a week and, you know, had 20-something hours of classes a week. Ugh. Life was very stressful when I first became an adult. You can hear all about that in my old videos. But things are phenomenal now. And I can't get over that. Like, life is so good. I always thought life was so good, but now that it actually is. I own my own house. I'm self-employed, and I make, about $24 an hour, technically. Because I go home early every day, pretty much. There's some days I stay late, but I go home early a lot of times, so I work fewer hours and make more per hour. On average, but of course, with my job, it's a little wishy-washy. And I'm over the whole fact that it gets lonely in the car, because people talk to me all day, every day. My wife calls me, Cody calls me, people message me. It's a great time. I love my job. I'd rather never have to work again and just focus on this. Maybe I can make some money off of this eventually one day. That'd be great. But who knows if that's ever going to happen. I'm not going to get my hopes up, and I'm not going to count it out entirely, because what's the point of that? Oops. That's okay. You can get a quick, easy combo by fucking up on purpose. I really want to find out how long I've been going for this video. I've just been rambling on about nonsense, and I know people don't like this. They would prefer role-playing and tips about the game. I don't get that. I've always appreciated it when I feel like I'm there hanging out with people. That's my favorite type of Let's Play. But I saw some posts from like 2011 on GameFAQs where people were like, what's the hype with Nintendo Capri Sun? He just talks about the game, or he talks about himself a lot and makes dumb jokes. Yeah, that's the appeal. Like, if everybody always talked about the game, there'd be nothing unique about a playthrough, about any sort of video. What would be the point? Nothing. That's how everybody can make different videos, being different skill levels and experience of a game. But it cracked me up. Still, I was researching like what do people like in Let's Plays years ago, and I was talking about it, how people really like role-playing as the characters. That's just not my thing. Like, I don't really get it. Like, maybe I would have enjoyed that when I was a smaller child, but I just like hearing what people have to say for the most part. But, you guys want me to roleplay right now? Oh boy, we're getting lots of stars! That was Kirby. But Kirby doesn't talk, so I've already failed. It's not canon. Cool! That was kind. Yeah, I'm sorry. This joke has been overdone. It was funny when I did it as Wario, and it was stupid for half a second. But see, it feels so cringy to me when I do it. Like, I get the appeal of it, but it's just not for me. But when I do it, I just feel like I'm being cringy, and so, you know. And I'm not going to do it unironically anyway, but, like, it's so painful I can't even do it ironically. Again, not making fun of people who do it or enjoy it, because that's fine. I get the appeal of it. It's just... Even though I just said I don't get it. I'm a hypocrite, you guys. No! Man, that was close. Oh! Still is close. Okay. Ooh, things got slightly faster. How many speeds do they have in this game? Like, I want to know how many speed settings, but there's not even the cutting room floor page for this version of the game, which is very strange because even the smallest, most unimportant games have cutting room floor pages, usually. But it just had a list that said to do. Add leftovers from SNES version of the game. That was it. But yeah, this was a great bonus for people using the Nintendo Power service. It's a wholly original remake of a Game Boy game. Until, of course, a year and a half later, when they finally gave it a full cartridge release. So if you ever see the release date is 99, that's why. Because one of the sources I found, that was some Kirby website, I found sourced on Kirby, which is really in-depth. I remember that the wiki first came out and it had, like, no information. Same with Wikitroid. Like, a lot of these wikis, I was like, oh, they're nothing like Bulbapedia, Zelda Wiki, or Mario Wiki. And now they are, and it's really cool. Ooh. I can finally start looking stuff up, timeline theories about Tears of the Kingdom, which is going to be really fun for me. I'm very excited. That was always my favorite thing about the Zelda series when I was younger, and I hadn't even played most of the games yet, so it was so confusing reading those timeline theories. And then they finally came out with an official timeline, and like, oh, that's fun, because you can still figure out where spin-offs fall into that. And then more games come out, and you figure out where they fall on the official timeline. It's just all so good. Being a Zelda fan is great. I think the new style of game is overwhelming a little bit. Fun, but overwhelming. And they're still not as good as the more catered, specific experiences, if you ask me. Like, sure, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are phenomenal games, but I mean, I just don't think they're as good. I feel like catering a specific experience to a player, like in a more confined, less open game, definitely has its pros. Like, I mean, Zelda 1 is one of my favorites, but I'm supposed to not talk about future games too much, but this is a Kirby game. I'm not talking about future Kirby games, so that's fine, right? But I'll get to rant about this more when I do Zelda games. And when I stream games, I can talk about whatever. I don't care. So that's a plus to that. Still part of the LP Master 6 brand. As great of a name as LP Master 6 is. Really wish I could change my name, but it's too late. I should have just done a different channel. Why did I keep it as LP Master 6? Why? What is wrong with me? But I just hope people watch. At least for just a little bit. If by like 3 streams I don't have anybody participating at all, I'm going to give up and just not stream. Maybe years down the line if I get way more subscribers, like 500 or 1,000, sure. But other than that, if there's no participation, I'm going to give up. But it's better to try than to not try. Am I right, guys? Better to try and fail than to have done nothing at all. Or what is it? Better to have loved and lost than not have loved at all. However you say that phrase. It's true. And that's good for death anxiety. So those of you with death anxiety, always remember that. I don't have much death anxiety. Oh. Well. We did it. We hit 2,000. And we get this new song. Alright. But I'm just going to hold down and put an end to this video. I could go for 9999. Oh, this is a new song. This is the DDD song. Alright. We did it. No. That's right. Kind drinks. This is kind of like the sound test room in Kirby's Dream Land 2. I think it shows up in Dream Land 3. I can't remember. But Kind is just drinking Rick's dead with horrifying gyroid eyes. And Kirby's horrified. Why, guys? You got a great score. 2018. Not my best year, but it was okay. I wonder what the 5th place score name is. Alright, you guys ready for this? Oh my god! An hour? That was an hour? I thought it was going to be like 40 minutes. I rambled on in challenge mode for an hour. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Okay, well, I will see you guys next time. That's going to be like, that's at least 2 videos. I'll probably only make it 2, but I'll see you next time for all of Round Clear. I'm LP Master 6.